Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, 5 Best Practices for Using Video with Employee Communications. Understand what the industry leaders are doing differently. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Audrey Enriquez, and I'm the Programs Manager at CMSWire. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started today. We'll be tweeting live. You can follow the conversation and contribute to the conversation at #EnterpriseVideo. You can also submit your questions at any point during the webinar via the WebEx chat or QA module in the bottom right corner of your interface. And also on Twitter by tagging your posts with #EnterpriseVideo at CMSWire or at Ramp Inc. Today we'll spend about 5 minutes on introduction, and then today's speaker, Nate Trelaw, will be covering the growing power of video. He'll also share some research on what successful organizations are doing with video and what they're doing differently. He'll also share some best practices and challenges. Then we'll spend the final 15 minutes on Q&A. A little bit about CMSWire. We were founded in 2003 and have been growing strong since. We have over 100 monthly contributors publishing over 300 articles per month on monthly editorial themes. We also host monthly tweet jams, hangouts, and webinars, and we interview thought leaders in the industry, all covering 4 primary topic areas: customer experience and digital marketing, social business and enterprise collaboration, enterprise information management, SharePoint, Office 365, and the related ecosystem. A little bit about today's speaker, Nate Trelaw. He's the Vice President and General Manager of Enterprise at Ramp. He's responsible for expanding Ramp's industry-leading video experience and search solutions to enterprises. Prior to joining Ramp, Nate was the Principal Search Technology Evangelist in the Microsoft Enterprise Search Group and was responsible for the group's technology innovation and evangelism programs. Now I'll pass it to Nate.
Thank you, Audrey, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for taking the time today to join us on this webinar. As Audrey said, the topic of today's webinar is really just to go over some research that we published a couple weeks ago about how enterprises are leveraging video, more specifically how enterprises who we've categorized as more mature in their adoption of video are driving success around video. To start out, I'm going to give you a little background on Ramp, and we'll go into the details of our findings in a second. So Ramp is a provider of video management solutions for major corporations, enterprises, government agencies, and we focus on, as our tagline indicates here, making video valuable. I'll explain at the end what we mean by that. But in a nutshell, we have focused our business and our solutions on the consumption side of video, where we see some of the challenges specifically related to how video is growing in the enterprise. Thanks to the evolution of devices and technology and software, it is absolutely the case that video is becoming a much more ubiquitous communication format to the point now where, because you can create good quality video even on a smartphone, we have this kind of new reality of video, which reflects somewhat on the world about 10 years ago, where content volumes of documents, et cetera, were growing to the point where the challenge wasn't in the creation, the production of these assets. It was really, how do you drive value to them? So our position is that video is the new document, and that's reflected in this new reality of the production cost of video coming down, and that's speaking to the need to make video more discoverable, more engaging, more accessible. So with that as a backdrop, before we launch into the overview of the report, we're actually doing something here on this webinar. We're going to do a couple polls, and they should show up to the lower right in your WebEx. I'm going to walk through this first question because it's somewhat of a leading question and hopefully reinforces the message from the report that we did. So if you could take a few minutes and just take a look at the survey, it's repeated on the slide as well. The question is, how would you assess your organization's adoption of video for employee communication? The choices are advanced, developing, nascent, or non-existent. Subjective, but take a look at the poll and just take a few seconds. While you're doing that, I'll also point up in the chat box, my colleague Dave Bunting has posted a link which will give you access to the full report that we're going to walk through today, all the conclusions there. Just give you a few more seconds to respond. All right, Audrey, you can see how many people have responded. Use your judgment if you feel like we can end. Okay, good chunk of you didn't have an answer, but another good percentage of you among those that did answer are nascent. And maybe that's a reflection of your interest in this topic in the first place. Maybe you're in the discovery phase. But this kind of ratio, the smallest percentage of responders would indicate that they have an advanced deployment of enterprise video for communication. And that's somewhat reflective of what we're seeing in our report. Our numbers would suggest a little bit higher across the sample, but it's certainly not a majority at this point of organizations would categorize themselves as being advanced in how they're using video. Let's take a look. Actually, before we jump into it, a couple quotes out there around how video is being used in general. Certainly it's the case that video on the web is growing at a phenomenal rate. The success of sites like YouTube are bringing video to the fore as a communication format, but also just taking up bandwidth. If you believe this quote from Cisco, about 86% of all global consumer traffic on the web by 2016 will be in the form of video. And granted, part of that is because video just takes up more of the bandwidth. It's a larger format. It takes up more space, network space. But it's also certainly a reflection that video is being used much, much more as a communication tool. And then looking at these Gartner quotes, which are more around enterprise use of video, Gartner estimates between 50 and 200% growth for video inside organizations, enterprise use cases. And then, interestingly, when it comes to accessing information through interfaces like search tools, about 50% of all searches, it's estimated by Gartner, by 2017 will have results that are not textual, implying media results. So let's take a look at the study. So the study, again, just a reminder, in the chat window there's a link to the actual study. We'll post that up again for those of you, maybe it scrolled by, we'll post it up at the end. But the study we did was with about 90 companies, and what we did was we surveyed their attitudes and behaviors towards enterprise video as a communication tool. And we developed a maturity scale across two major areas. One was around their use, their straight up use of video, including the types of video that they were creating. And types means video for training, training videos, marketing videos, those sort of things. We also look at their video creation process, and then took a look at how users in those organizations were finding and consuming these videos. And then on the other axis, we took a look at practices and attitudes and the resources that were available to these organizations around video. And some of these are soft criteria, like what was the culture like? Was the culture conducive and supportive? Were there creation methods that were readily available? Were they simple? Were they generally available to all departments within the organization, or were they restricted to certain departments? How were users trained to use and consume and create video? And then importantly, what kind of infrastructure was available to support enterprise video? So these are a mixture of kind of concrete metrics as well as some of the softer qualitative data points. But the result was we created a maturity scale for how these 90 companies were using video. And then across that, we came to some conclusions. First of all, there's really these 5 conclusions, which is the topic of this session. The first one was that the most common uses of internal communication were really around training and executive corporate communication. I'll go into a little bit more detail on each of these in a second. In reflection on each of these, some of these things make sense. Some of them were sort of really surprising, but you can draw your own conclusions as we go through it. The second observation among mature companies that have a mature adoption of video, was that they develop cultures that promote the active production and participation of users around video. They also encourage employees and departments to create their own video, and we'll look at the data on each of these. And then fourth, they made it easy to track, catalog, and store videos. And I'll add into that they made it easier to find video. So, this is a proposition that we promote at RAMP heavily, that video is only useful and valuable if you can find it. And there's some unique challenges with video in that category. The last thing, which sort of reflects what's happening on the web, but there was a lot of interest among our more mature corporations that are using video in driving fun, short, but professionally produced video, what we like to call snackable video. So let's take a look at each of these kind of conclusions with some graphs. First of all, a breakdown on the maturity level. If we look at the poll we just did, if we said that A and B in the survey results here are reflecting organizations that are more mature, about 10% of you who responded, 10% of the responders would say that they have a somewhat more mature or above average mature environment for enterprise video. In our results, it was about 25%. 8% fall into the category of most mature. These are the ones that have the most evolved and developed infrastructure and policies and procedures and cultures for enterprise video. The kind of parallel to our own little poll here is that almost half of the respondents, half of the folks that we spoke with, would categorize themselves as having, or were categorized as having an immature or less mature infrastructure support culture for video. So it's definitely the case that enterprise video is a maturing concept in a lot of organizations. But certainly all the signs are showing that there's interest in developing more mature infrastructure and culture for enterprise video. So looking at the usage of video in corporate communication or enterprise employee communication, training definitely is at the top, whether it's compliance training, policy training, sales enablement, field training, if you look at the other top uses on the right. These are the most dominant forms. The other ones are town hall meetings, executive briefings, overviews of financial performance, et cetera. But I guess what I would highlight here is that training is a very general use case. We also see another use case which is not quite training, but is more like collaboration and knowledge sharing. The concept there is that it's more like a corporate YouTube, where the organizations are putting video out there and encouraging users and employees to actually produce video that will be shared among their peers, their colleagues, and within departments and across departments. So that's a more classic knowledge management use case and collaboration use case where it's not just about training, it's more opportunistic information sharing. And interestingly, that didn't come front in our results, but certainly it came up in sort of anecdotally around training as a general use case. Second best practice that came forward, actually before I jump to the next conclusion, one of the other interesting conclusions among mature companies that are using video in an advanced way, is that they had a lot of different use cases. So across all the ones we just listed on the previous screen and others not listed on the previous screen, more mature companies, that top 10%, had at least 7 different applications of video. So they were using video for training, for compliance, for employee engagement, maybe even marketing and communication. Video had a lot of different applications within these organizations. We were surprised at this, that there were more than 7 on average different uses. Second best practice, so active video production and participation. So this speaks more to a cultural attitude towards video. There are some organizations, let's call them the less mature ones, who have a more restrictive policies, or maybe more likely they don't have active policies for video creation and sharing. The more mature organizations do. In fact, about 80% of these organizations have a culture that actively embraces video, or at least has a culture that embraces video to a subset of their customer user base, their employee base. So the response there is if you don't have that culture, what do you need to, what defines that culture? What do you need to have in place? So the comment here is that having video management distribution platform that provides analytics so you can understand how people are using and consuming video across the different use cases. That's a good starting point because that gives you the evidence to support and convince skeptics about the value of video. So we always encourage sort of a feedback loop. If you deploy that first application, whether it's for training or for corporate communication or employee engagement, that you capture the consumption patterns and how people are using video within that application, within that system. And that's predicated on having those the tools to be able to capture that usage. The summary here is that it's all about encouraging production, encouraging participation, and the most mature companies have that in place. Third observation is this user-generated concept, this corporate YouTube thing that I mentioned before. The more mature companies tend to encourage employees and departments to create their own video. So there's it's not necessarily all centrally managed through a central digital media production group. Certainly having the tools to support that, video production and creation and publishing is important. But as I said at the beginning, those tools are more readily available to the point where you can create a decent quality video with your smartphone and upload it to the intranet or to some shared site. The most mature companies are doing that. They're encouraging their employees to be video producers, at least at the department level, if not at the individual employee level. And then the implications of a YouTube-like experience are that once that video is up there and it's being shared, you have the opportunity to comment on it. You have the opportunity to create an experience around the video itself. So it's not just the video being produced for its own sake, it's the video being produced in context with some research project or other kind of project where other people have the opportunity to comment on it, incorporate other information or in and around that video. Fourth best practice. So this is more of an infrastructure comment that you really need to make it easy to track, catalog, and store these videos. Most mature companies, about 80% of them, have really focused on this as a requirement. We want to make it as easy as possible, really as easy as YouTube, or easier in some cases, for users to be able to publish video and share video. So most organizations consider not only the asset, but also that infrastructure to support it. It's not just about having the video, it's about making sure that video is easy to publish, easy to share, easy to search. And then lastly, we use the phrase snackable video, but a more general way of referring to it is a video that is both serious, short, but professional is a characteristic of companies that are maturing, but maybe not completely mature in their adoption of video. On the contrast, what we see among the most mature companies, they tend to focus on creating fun and short videos that are generally professional, but are designed to be engaging in their own content, engaging in their own sense. So that's also sort of a YouTube paradigm as well, in the sense that people have maybe not a lot of patience to watch a 30-minute training video, but they will watch an entertaining 5-minute video that's engaging, and where engagement is defined by the quality and engagement, the level of engaging content in the video itself, but also maybe even in the experience. So not just what's in the video, but how the video is delivered. Can you deliver it to a tablet so the user can consume it with their own devices, whether it's an iPad or a smartphone? Can you deliver it in a user experience that encourages other types of related content to be promoted in and around that video? So that's what we mean by engaging. So let's jump back to a second poll. So this second poll is really more trying to get an understanding of how you guys see your barriers to utilizing video as a communication tool in your organization coming forward. So is it a challenge around producing a video? Is it more of a challenge of managing it once it's created? More of a challenge of distributing it, not just managing it, but getting it out to the audience? Or is it a challenge, not that you have to, or it's more of a challenge of making sure that people can find it? Or do you have particular kind of requirements around securing and monetizing it? And we're asking for 3 out of these 6. So take a few seconds to take a look at it, and let's take a look at the results in just a few. While you're doing that, a reminder, David has posted the link to the report that I just went through the results of up on the chat box. So if you don't see the chat, it's not exposed on the right side of your WebEx experience, just click the little chat tab and it should show up. So there should be a hub.am link in the little chat box. Let's give you a few more seconds. Great. Audrey, if you don't mind, let's see the results.
Okay.
Don't quite see them yet.
Yeah, closing poll. Got 5 seconds here.
There we go. Yeah. So maybe this also reflects back on the earlier poll. For those of you that are just getting your toes, dipping your toes into the enterprise video experience, it might follow that the first thing that you need to do is produce that video. In fact, it's sort of interesting to see the profile of this poll result. It almost follows the general evolution of how people use video. The first step is you got to make it. And clearly a lot of you guys are in that situation where more than half of you are really focused on, well, almost half of you are focused on producing it. Once produced, the second thing is managing and distributing and so on. So it actually follows the layout of the poll itself. Not terribly surprising because that's sort of a reflection of how people evolve in their use of enterprise video. First step is to make it and so on. So great, very interesting. I would say this also reflects what we see in the poll, although our own research and then the report itself, although our report didn't address this one quite as directly as we have in this poll. Well, moving on. So I want to talk a little bit about, we're almost done actually, we're going to be, give you a good 15 minutes back of your day. What I want to do is maybe just speak to a variation on this whole maturity question of how we see organizations driving value around enterprise video. And we have seen in our own deployments with our customers and in general that there's sort of 4 major themes that result in creating value around video across pretty much every use case, whether you're using it for training or marketing or other kinds of communication to employees or customers. The first one I kind of alluded to before is that it's really critical that you ensure that your video, once produced, is discoverable. And a lot of organizations are looking at video and trying to figure out how they can integrate it with their own enterprise content management, enterprise search platform, so they can ensure that these assets are as findable as any other asset that's being produced and used internally. So we call that discoverability, but it is a uniquely difficult thing to do with video, because video, if you just stop and think about it for a second, doesn't have a lot of searchable metadata. Whatever metadata exists is limited to the title, maybe a few key descriptive keywords. Sometimes you can rely on the file name itself, but most times you can't. So you're dependent on whatever attached metadata exists on the video. If you're dealing with a 5-minute video, that might be okay, but if you're dealing with a 20, 30-minute video or a 60-minute video, there's quite a lot of content that lives in the timeline of that video that's not easy to expose. So as I said earlier, one of the things that we do for our clients is make sure that the full breadth of information in that video is available to a search and content management system. And we do that, among other things, by making sure that the full transcript is a native part of the search experience. Second thing that we focus on around video is, and I also talked about this, is that the video is valuable if it's engaging. Certainly that comes from the content itself. The video content needs to be engaging, needs to be entertaining if appropriate, but it has to kind of grab the user. But the other thing, and it's described here, is that the ability to interact with the video content, to drive related information in and around that video is critical, because it's through these more engaging player experiences, the video player experiences, that you create that second level of engagement. And one of the nice things about tablets and iPads, et cetera, is that in addition to watching a video with your eyes, you also have sort of a way of interacting with the video with your fingers. It encourages the sort of interactive experience. So we have, with our clients, done a number of deployments where the player experience is not just a sort of passive, I'm going to lean back and let the video wash over me, but they're more what we call lean forward player experiences, where the user is encouraged to navigate within the video, to be able to experiment and explore related content that's surfaced in companion to the side of the video. For example, it might be a call to action that's attached to the video. It could be, just like we did in this little webinar, it could be a poll that's brought up halfway through the video that encourages the user to respond to some question. You'll have seen these kind of things in the e-learning systems, but there's real opportunity to apply these concepts across really any kind of video that's really with the goal of trying to drive engagement. The third thing, somewhat related, I'll skip to the right, is actionability. I think this one kind of gets short shrift when it comes to enterprise video. Every video has some sort of purpose, you know, whether it's just some sort of entertaining corporate communication video or very important kind of e-learning video that is around compliance training. There is a particular purpose for that video, and the attachment of actions or business outcomes to that video need to be factored in. So I talked about one of them, right? If it's an e-learning video, you might want to put a quiz in at the end or in the middle of the video. And these calls to action are critical to attach to any video if you're going to create some value. Maybe if we took this webinar as an example, maybe think of this as a live video stream. We have calls to action in here. We had the polls. We had the link that David has put up to the report. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we're creating an experience that has these calls to action built into it. And video, because it's its unique temporal nature, it's got a length of time that the user's engaged with it. You have an opportunity to create these calls to action, not just at the beginning, at the end, but during the length of the video itself. The fourth thing is more kind of speaks back to that infrastructure challenge that video has. When we talk about versatility, videos are valuable if they're versatile, by which I mean you have the ability to deliver them to your audience across a variety of devices, across a variety of applications. Another unique challenge of video is that depending on the device that the user is using to consume that video, if it's a smartphone or a tablet or a desktop or laptop, they all have their own peculiar requirements for formats, for renditions and display, And you really do need a implementation and infrastructure that's aware of this and can be intelligent enough to deliver the right format, the right video, in the right context. An iPad has its own peculiar requirements. You can't take, so the older iPads at least can't take a flash video file. So you need to be able to be have an infrastructure to support the vagaries of what makes video kind of hard. You know, the other one that's hard about video is it does take up bandwidth, and if you're trying to deliver video to a remote office from a central server, there are performance implications. That's why technologies like content distribution networks are important to factor in. Again, this is really an infrastructure proposition, but it's critical to driving value to video. I got one last slide, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. Just a little bit about RAMP. I talked about the company. Our platform is really made up of 3 central technologies that are geared towards addressing those value propositions on the previous screen. The back-end service, something called Media Cloud, and what Media Cloud is, in addition to a video management platform, it actually provides a metadata generation infrastructure. Remember I said before that video is valuable if it's discoverable, and that's predicated on what kind of metadata that you have attached to the video, whether it's a title, a description, or in the case of our service, the full-text transcripts that we can generate automatically using some of our proprietary speech-to-text technology. So that's built into something called Media Cloud. On the far side, on the right, is something called MetaPlayer. And MetaPlayer is the player experience that allows you to leverage the time-coded metadata to create these really interactive experiences that trigger events in the timeline of the video. In our experience with our customers, we've seen incredible lift in the engagement rates around video when we have these interactive experiences powered by MetaPlayer. And then in the middle is really sort of the business rule, the MetaQ logic engine that says how to create these interactive experiences, how to create the logic to trigger very engaging interactive events inside of a video, whether it's delivered to a desktop or to an iPad. So it's this trio of capabilities that make up the RAMP platform, and they're really all driven around driving value to video. They're also reflecting back on the maturity model that we just went and analyzed. They're designed to be easily deployable, and they're designed to support all the kind of promises and propositions of mature adoption of video. We want to make it as easy as possible for people to manage video, to find video, to consume video, and it's all built into the core platform. So end of that little commercial there. At this point, I'm going to turn it back to Audrey, and we finished a little early, but we have plenty of time for questions if anybody has any.
Yes, we do. Okay. The first question comes from Jeremy. How do you ensure transcription and other useful metadata are associated with video when any user can create video? Automated tools, workflow?
Yeah, so good question. So in our platform, the Media Cloud platform has the speech-to-text engine built into it. So if there's spoken word audio, or really actually other kind of sources of metadata apply as well. We have the ability to do things like derive other features from the video, like even face recognition and things like that. The more features we can leverage, the more metadata we can build. So we have some unique IP in processing spoken word audio. If somebody posts a video that has no spoken word audio, there are other attributes that we can rely on that can allow us to kind of create some sort of understanding of the video. On top of that, of course, you also, as appropriate, want to make sure that the users are adding metadata themselves, the explicit metadata. But unique to our platform is the ability to generate automated transcripts using some proprietary speech-to-text technology that we are born with. And to be clear, maybe this is part of Jeremy's question, there's variation in accuracy of this technology. If you're dealing with a webinar like this one, where it's just me speaking and occasionally Audrey, you get really good quality transcriptions because there's not a lot of additional noise, there's no people talking over each other. And importantly, it's not about generating a perfect transcript, it's about generating metadata. So as long as we're recognizing the operative nouns, that gives us a good payload of metadata that we can include with the video object and include as part of a search experience with that video. It's a good question.
Okay. Next question is from Brian. Did any of your best practices results relate to life cycles, retrieval, and metadata?
Let's see, make sure I understand the question. Read it to me once more, Audrey.
Okay. Did any of your best practices results relate to life cycle, retrieval, and metadata?
Oh, okay. I think if I understand the question right, were there any observations around video life cycle, maybe video workflow, if I'm hearing it correctly, and how these different organizations are using metadata? Definitely the case that among the more mature customers, they have it's not in the report explicitly, but kind of anecdotal, I can tell you that they had more mature metadata policies and infrastructure. They recognize, and maybe that's kind of captured in the infrastructure conclusion, that they had more mature implementations of platforms to support annotating, tagging video with metadata. So, the life cycle of video, I'm not quite sure exactly what you mean by that, Brian, but to the extent that they had built into their solutions and infrastructure support for the full life cycle of production to deployment, certainly that was in there. If you're speaking of life cycle around like aging out and archiving, we didn't really capture any information on that, unfortunately.
Next question comes from Juliana. Where are companies or individuals turning to learn video production?
To learn video production.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the question, Audrey?
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer for that. All I can tell you is that increasingly, because of this sort of trend for user-generated video, they are, at least among the more mature companies, they're not sweating that detail, at least for a set of video content in these kind of enterprise YouTube scenarios. They're leaving it up to their own employees to be creative. Now, it's not to say that there aren't organizations out there who, as part of encouraging employees to develop their own video, or departments develop their own video, aren't creating sort of classes on how to properly set up the recording and the microphones, et cetera. I believe that that's definitely happening. And where are they going to get that knowledge? I don't have a good answer for you, but certainly there are plenty of resources out there. I'm sure a lot of them are hiring, as we have actually. I'll tell you anecdotally, RAMP, we've actually hired a videographer. So we have a guy whose job it is not only to create our professionally produced video, our marketing video that's up on our website, but also to basically educate the rest of us who are creating our own video in a more ad hoc way for internal use. So that's an example. I don't know if that represents a pattern, but we've hired somebody whose job it is not only to be the professional videographer, but also to educate the rest of us to be producers of our own video.
Okay. Next question is from Alex. How do mature organizations justify the business value of video?
You were a little hard to hear, Audrey. Can you just repeat it once more?
How do mature organizations justify the business value of video?
Yeah, so what I've seen is they do it first off on a use case basis. So when it comes to training video, there's compliance training, and the justification for compliance training comes down to the cost of not being compliant, either compliant to corporate policy, compliant to in some cases government policies, and so that one is varies depending on industry and depending on the compliance. The second requirement is really driven by a productivity story. So different use cases like knowledge management, corporate collaboration use cases, they justify it by creating an ROI story around employee productivity. And then sort of a subset of that is employee engagement, where they actually measure it based on employee satisfaction. And there's sort of a cost of employee turnover. How much does it cost to go out and hire a replacement employee every time somebody quits? So those are examples of ROI associated with employee productivity. And then a third one is just more direct. It's, you know, is it a use case for, say, sales enablement? Increasingly we're seeing people use video to drive out new product messaging out to a distributed sales force. And in that case, the ROI calculation is based on the increase in effectiveness of the sales force. So by driving training video out to this distributed sales team, you increase sales productivity by 5% or 10%. That has a, you know, hits the bottom line in a very specific way. So kind of in a nutshell, it comes down to how people calculate ROI for any investment in technology. It's about making money. Last example, saving money, productivity, or not going to jail, compliance.
Okay. The next question is from P. Ball. How do we engage or trigger participants as if they were in a leader-led environment? Get them thinking. I'm going to assume this relates to getting people involved in making video made.
Yeah, so what's the tricks to creating a culture around, you know, that's reflective of these observations of mature companies. So again, I have to kind of speak anecdotally. It's because it's not as explicit in the report. You should definitely check out the report. There may be some facts in there that I didn't convey in the PowerPoint here, but speaking anecdotally, it really takes a strong leader or a group of leaders to recognize that having a culture of let's call it a video culture is important. I'm just thinking as I'm talking about, I'm thinking about a customer of ours in the Midwest, where the command came down from on high, the CEO. Some of it actually is an ego cast thing, but the CEO of this one particular company said, "Video is our future. It's the most effective way for me as the CEO of the organization to get my message across in a very personalized way. And I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing corporate communication through video, and I want my department managers to start doing it as well." So in that case, it kind of came down from on high. You really need a champion with some power to get that to happen. And unfortunately, it's not just a switch that you can throw on. There's sort of an awareness. As I said in one of the slides, one way to do that at a more grassroots level is to deploy a video solution at a departmental level, capture the metrics of engagement, and more times than not, certainly the case, you'll find that you'll collect the evidence that suggests the power of these kinds of applications, the power of video in whatever application you're using it for. And then you have fodder from the grassroots level to kind of appeal to those folks with power and get them to promote the culture.
Mm-hmm. We have some more detail to that question. Tubal says, not cultural, the actual video. How do you make it more fun and engaging?
Yeah. Well, you can take a look at some of the video we have on our own website and draw your own conclusions, but we've kind of taken the attitude that you can get your message across without being so dry in kind of communicating just the facts, Jack. You know, I'm laughing inside because I think that's pretty much what I did on this webinar. The examples of what we've done is sort of anecdotal information. If you're trying to create a message around, you know, a marketing pitch or a training concept, there are a lot of ways to get that point across. If you can find a way that's more fun and more engaging, like one example that I can't remember if it's up on our site or not. One of our product managers talked about tying a bow tie, and basically goes through the process of what's involved in tying a bow tie. But the conclusion of that particular video was you would not be able to learn this unless you were watching somebody do it. If somebody tried to write it down and draw it out with diagrams, it would be much harder to convey that concept. So this is a little bit of a snake eating its own tail idea here, but in our own content, in our own marketing video, we found it more effective to provide a video around to describe a complex thing than to try to describe it in text. But the point there was that's the power of video, right? That was the message there. So that's an example. So you can kind of get your points across in a fun way, but to use lateral thinking to get that across.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the next question is from Brian. Can you speak to your SharePoint integration capabilities? For one of your slides, it appears you have your own search and web parts. How does this work with overlap with SharePoint search and media web parts?
Yeah, so the platform that I described, the three components, Media Cloud, MetaPlayer, and MetaQ, we have a very tight integration with both Microsoft SharePoint 2010 and SharePoint 2013 Online, which allows you to manage and deploy and access video as easily as you can access documents. That was sort of our mantra with that integration. Technically, how it works is as a content manager inside a SharePoint application, you upload video, and our integration behind the scenes posts that video to our securely to our cloud-based service. We generate, using that same speech technology, a rich metadata transcript that's sent back and stored with the SharePoint application, indexed by the SharePoint application, which means that it's now available through search inside SharePoint. And then all that metadata is also essentially becomes like a document, and managed with all the explicit metadata plus the metadata we generated, so that document is available to all the other workloads in SharePoint. Search, as I mentioned, but also workflow, analytics, content management, of course, and everything else. On the presentation side, there are some web parts and UI controls to expose the metadata in the video player itself. It's actually a version of our meta player in a web part, which exposes the time-coded transcript, so you can do things like navigate in the timeline of video, actually search in the timeline of the video, so you can find, say, 20 minutes into a video where a particular concept or phrase was mentioned. And then it actually has a few other more advanced features. So that's our SharePoint integration.
Okay, next question is from Fred. Are there successful formulas for snackable videos, length, content, etc.?
So the content, I think back to that previous question, kind of fun, engaging video there's a theme, and that's not a theme that is unique to the enterprise. We see it on the web, right? All these little snackable 3, 5, 10-minute videos on YouTube. So if I had to say there's sort of a length that equals snackable, you know, there's various opinions on this, but I would say 5 minutes, maybe tops. You know, there's a precedent. I can't remember. I think it's Vine, the Twitter application, where it's a 6-second video or animated graphic. So there's anything, you know, there's examples of things that go down to that short. But I would say, if I had to put a definition on snackable, I would say 3 to 5 minutes.
We have another question from Fred. What kind of infrastructure do you typically see that supports corporate YouTube kind of behavior? How are videos typically getting created, uploaded, surfaced, and shared?
Yeah. So the creation side, it depends on the organization. As I mentioned earlier, we're seeing more creation happening at the end user level using cheap, more commodity video devices, even smartphones. but there's also more professionally produced video, like the example I gave at RAMP, where we have a videographer who creates some of our video as well, a lot of our video. So on the production side, sometimes it's centralized, sometimes it's not, and increasingly it's not centralized. The infrastructure for managing video, we provide services for that, of course, in a cloud-based infrastructure for managing, storing, and delivering video. And with our integration for SharePoint and as well as other front ends, the ability to consume that video as well. But one of the things to keep in mind when it comes to infrastructure for enterprise video is that video has its peculiar requirements. You got to be able to store it. Videos can be large, right? Just to take SharePoint as an example, SharePoint out of the box has a 250 megabyte limit, file size limit. Well, you know, a 5-minute video might not cross that threshold. A higher resolution, somewhat longer video will. And so there's upload limits even in, you know, commonly used tools like SharePoint. So having an infrastructure that can manage just video files and their size is the first point, and be able to store them. Video also needs to be streamed. A lot of companies, some of the less mature companies, really deliver video as a download still, and they launch as the Windows Media Player in the end user's laptop or PC. That's still out there, but you know, the expectations from the web are that you should be able to stream a video, adaptively stream it. It should be aware of whether available bandwidth there is and stream the right bit rate. All these things are infrastructure that you need to have in place. We've solved that because we provide our video platform and delivery service out of our cloud, and we do it in a way that's secure so that your assets are secured in our storage environment, but also secured when we're streamed back into your enterprise. And if we're going through SharePoint, we'll honor and respect Active Directory, et cetera, and things like that. So you can't just share a video link outside the organization. So all these things are infrastructure requirements. They're not easy to set up if you had to start it from scratch. I definitely encourage you, whether you talk to us or anybody, you want to talk to somebody who's done a lot of work with video, because it has a kind of unique infrastructure requirements.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question is from Alex. Have your clients found any differences in certain employee populations in terms of adoption willingness?
Yeah, marketing department loves video. They both for their own internal use in bigger companies, but also as a marketing tool. Very, very powerful. So. You know, partly because they see the power of it as a tool for their own purposes, the marketing department also sees the power of video, larger ones, for their own internal collaboration and communication. You may have seen that as one of the example use cases. So I would say, as a whole, the marketing organizations, really across a lot of verticals, are thought leaders when it comes to the adoption of video. After that, I would say that you know, the research and development, kind of the product and groups where in places where that's relevant in different verticals, are using video in more of an enterprise YouTube setting. And it certainly often happens at a department level. You'll have a distributed department of maybe a few hundred folks who need to collaborate, and they see the value of an enterprise YouTube or some sort of video-based collaboration platform. You know, as a starting point, I definitely see that happening. You know, marketing and then the kind of product R&D second. But that's just you know, that's very general, highly dependent on the industry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question is from Benin. He says, you mentioned Flash earlier. Isn't Flash being abandoned now for platforms like HTML5, Bootstrap, etc.?
Yeah, it is, but it's not gone. You know, we like a lot of companies, we've embraced HTML5 and some of the more contemporary standards for video delivery, but there's still plenty of Flash-based applications out there. There's still some Silverlight out there, Microsoft's technology for video delivery. So it depends on the organization, what kind of browsers are supported. Not all browsers are up to the most recent HTML5 spec. So, this speaks to sort of the challenges of video in general. Lots of different standards. They are starting to settle in and around HTML5, but even HTML5 implementations vary from device and device to browser to browser.
Okay, Nate, we have about 5 minutes left. 2 more questions. This question comes from Dan. How do you safely encourage employees to create videos with the goal of engaging them without running the risk of unwanted videos ending up on YouTube? An example would be a contest asking employees to submit videos explaining what they like about their job. What is the best way to logistically accomplish that?
Yeah, well, there's sort of 2 questions in that. One is YouTube a place where you want people to be posting videos about what they like about their job? And if the goal is for this video to be available to a general audience to drive, say, recruiting and that sort of thing, then YouTube's a great channel for that. It's not the only channel, but it's a channel for that. Your own website would be another good channel, maybe your own a Facebook page. We think of these destinations for your video content as channels in a marketing sense. If these videos about what you like about your job are really more for internal communication, then of course there is risk in putting it up on YouTube because you can put some constraints on it, but I think it's still the case that in theory Google owns that video if you're posting it to YouTube, so you want to be cognizant of that. The second half of that question was sort of a moderation question. Should you have a moderator reviewing videos before they're just posted for general consumption, whether they go to YouTube or an internal portal? And my advice on that is, in that example, there's 2 schools of thought. One is just let people speak their mind. But if you're worried about that rebel employee posting a video that can create consternation, then you would want to make sure you have a moderator. In our SharePoint implementation, it's possible to integrate workflow. There's some native workflow functionality inside SharePoint that allows you to have an approval process for videos that are published. You can, of course, use your own workflow engine, the third parties as well. It doesn't have to be particularly sophisticated, but basically the way it works is that an employee publishes a video, but it goes through a little workflow so that somebody approves it before it ultimately gets posted. That delays the post time, but it's just a way of you putting some constraints and controls around it.
Okay. Jeremy would like to know, since the most mature organizations use video for many different types of communication, can you share as many of these ways as possible? So can you share as many of these ways as possible?
Yeah, take a look at the report. I think that they're listed in there. Many of them are. If for some reason you don't see them listed in there or a longer list, just send a note or send a note to our Twitter feed or something like that. I think we'd be happy to provide you the list of applications we see. But in general, they are training and all the variations of training, including Salesforce enablement. They are corporate communications, executive town hall meetings. They are these knowledge management enterprise YouTube collaboration type of examples. And then there are sort of outside the firewall use cases like marketing communications, customer service, another big one. Video is being used more and more for customer service. And then a third one, which is very specific to retail, is direct video merchandising, where retailers are using video as a way of kind of incorporating video into their shopping cart experiences. So you can actually add something to your shopping cart as part of watching a video. So these are all kind of 6 or 7 kind of general categories, and then each one of them has sort of subsets.
All right, I think we have time for one last question. Trevor wants to know, how does RAMP search relate to enterprise CMS search?
Yeah, so we actually do host search for some of our media customers. But in the enterprise scenario, our approach, for example, with the integration with SharePoint, is to leverage the enterprise content management platform's native search, or if you're using some other search around that platform, whether it's SharePoint or something else, we provide the metadata that feeds that search system. There are other models for implementing video search in an enterprise context, but we found that it doesn't make sense to implement a completely separate search system when you have a perfectly good, if you have a perfectly good enterprise search system. So our first order of integration is to leverage the existing enterprise search system.
Okay. And one last question, another from Trevor. How easy is it to upload video using RAMP? How does RAMP handle uploading different formats?
Yeah, so it's very easy. It's like uploading to YouTube or Vimeo, or you just add a reference to the video. You can actually, in SharePoint, you can drag and drop a video off of your desktop or off of a file share, and it'll drop it in, upload it that way. In terms of file types, maybe this is the other question Trevor had, is what happens if I have a QuickTime file or a Windows Media file or a Flash file or an MPEG file, or all these different options. How do we handle that? Well, our approach is that you upload the file in whatever format it is, and we will transcode it so that we can process it, and then we will make sure that we have various transcodes available so that we can deliver it to different endpoints. So somebody wants to watch it on an iPad and it only supports QuickTime, we'll make sure we'll create a QuickTime transcode of that video, even if you uploaded it in a Windows Media format. We just want to make that as simple as possible so the end user, the content manager, doesn't have to think about, oh, I got to convert this into some other format before I upload it. It shouldn't have to be the case.
All right, looks like we're at the top of the hour. Nate, any last comments?
No, I just appreciate everybody's great questions. And if there were any questions that were not answered, feel free to reach out. I think our Twitter handle is up here. And contact information, you can also reach out to us directly through our website.
All right, and just so everyone knows, this webinar has been recorded, and a recap along with the recording will be available on CMSWire.com later this week. A big thanks to Nate for his insights today. Stay tuned for more upcoming webinars from CMSWire. Thanks again for attending.